Welcome to Happy Hour. Today we are going to make Bloody Mary mix. Now, I'm not afraid to go to the store and grab a bottle of Mr. and Mrs. T's Bold and Spicy. I'm not afraid to drink the Old Bay Bloody Mary mix. In fact, I like it. Sometimes I crave it. Kind of like sometimes you crave, a hot dog or whatever. It's good stuff. But you can make your own Bloody Mary mix, and it can also have texture, which is something that those brands I'd mentioned before don't have. I also don't particularly like it when my Bloody Mary is like a bowl of marinara. So yeah, I like to kind of like split the difference, have just like a little bit of texture, a lot of flavor, and certainly some good heat. I'm also not the type of person who likes to suffer necessarily. And I know everyone has their own level of spice tolerance, but I do like a little bit of heat with my Bloody, just, because it's not like you're like slamming Bloody. If you're slamming Bloody Marys like it's a glass of water, then it's like, I don't know, call your therapist. That's just weird. So we're gonna make our own Bloody Mary mix. So a lot of this is based on, should I have a recipe? Probably, but I don't. So I'm gonna show you how I make it. And a lot of it's kind of like eyeballing and just kind of seeing where we're at. I'm gonna need this as well, I just realized. Bar spoon, folks. We learned about this last season. So let's start with the base. Tomato juice. I went with a brand of tomato juice. So I've got a jar here. Like you can find recipes online that will yield pitchers. I don't know about you, but we don't really go through a lot of Bloodies in our house. Like surely if we were having a brunch party or something like that, you might want to make kind of a massive amount, because when you're making a Bloody Mary, generally speaking, they're in something like a pint glass or something. There's some ice, some vodka, but the rest of it's Bloody Mary mix. The mix is doing the heavy lifting in that situation. But we're gonna make just a reasonable amount, and then everything I'm kind of talking to you about now can be expanded if you have to make more. So we're going to yield, how much is in a mason jar? I should know this. 3 cups, which would basically be probably about 3 or 4 Bloody Marys, depending on the size of your vessel. So that's a good amount, and that way too you can have a couple and keep it for, it will keep for a minute. It is made of juice and stuff. It doesn't have a permanent shelf life. But so we're gonna start by, and I'm not gonna pour this all in because I wanna save room at the end in case I feel like I went too bold on the flavors. And that's honestly how I've always done it. We used to have a recipe when we made this I would make 5-gallon buckets of Bloody Mary mix, but at the end of the day, you're tasting it and being like, needs more, needs less, that kind of thing. But this is kind of like your ballpark amount. So I'm gonna start with, it is the primary ingredient. So we'll put in 2 cups, and I love a mason jar or a ball jar, I guess. Mason is a brand. Did you know that? I believe mason jars are a brand of, this is Sarah over there. It's a brand, kind of like Q-tips. Our cotton swabs are known as Q-tips because that was, anyway, ball jar. Good talk. I love our chats. 2 cups of tomato juice. We'll put that over there. Next ingredient, reading from my list. Oh, horseradish sauce. Did I put that in next? Great. So this is ground horseradish, prepared horseradish, old-fashioned. You don't want the new-fashioned kind. Well, here I thought I took all the seals off of everything, and I didn't. Horseradish for some people is like kryptonite. And for those people for whom horseradish is kryptonite, don't come to my party because you're not going to like the drinks. Because I put horseradish in all my drinks. Just kidding. So you can find this in weirdly in the dairy section of the grocery store. But I'm not going to use all of it, but I'm going to put in a fair amount of big healthy scoops. I think you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm gonna put in about half, a little more. Eyeballing it. If I was an Avenger, I would eyeball it. That would be my Avenger superpower. So we still have some left in case we want to add more at the end. But this is kind of gonna give us, you can stir it and see, yep. You can see the horseradish in the mix. And I think that's a good place to start. And again, you want to make it so it has some character, but there's some people like my mom who won't eat chicken that has bones in it because it's just, she actually, if she could have a plate where everything was separated, like, those plates that you get at barbecues that have the little pockets, that's her jam because nothing's touching anything. My mom eats like a 5-year-old. So if she's gonna have a bloody over here, I want her to enjoy it, even though I would probably have to strain this through a stocking just to make sure it's just only smooth juice, and then garnish it with a chicken bone. Anyway, so that we've put in the horseradish, and next we're going to add some lemon juice. Now I have some freshly squeezed lemon juice. You don't want to go crazy, it's just for a little citrus taste because the tomato juice has quite a bit of acidity as well. So I would say we'll put in, I'll even use the jigger. How about that, just to make it legit. In 2 cups of juice, I would put in 1 ounce of lemon juice. Will probably be enough. There we go. And maybe a little bit more, just a little bit more. 1.5 ounces ish. Again, save yourself some room at the end to make some corrections if you don't like what's going on. And then after lemon juice, Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce is where you're going to get a lot of your kind of, umami, I believe is a term that people use, but certainly it's where you get a lot of your salt and a lot of that good flavor. And this is where you're gonna put it in, and it's gonna start to turn into the color of a Bloody Mary. So I would say, it's hard to tell because I think I put in about 1/3 of that bottle there. But that's not important. What I want you to look at is the color. Has it deepened to a darker orange? That's what we're looking for. Yes, I see that it has. In fact, I'll say I want just a little bit more in there. Great, thanks for coming out. Yoink. And by the color of it, yes. I mean, you can go fire that whole thing in there, and that'll be an experience. But I would start here where we are. After the Worcestershire sauce, some freshly ground black pepper for that freshly ground black pepper flavor. I guess this would ultimately be, if it was a cookbook, it would be probably 2 pinches of pepper. Freshly ground is better, and if you have a pepper shaker, that's fine too. It'll get the job done, but freshly ground will taste a little better. That's looking good, and then we're also going to put in some kosher salt here. So I'm just referencing to make sure I don't leave anything out. And this is a little easier to pour, and I would say, can you see that? Yay. Ish, because keep in mind, no, not that one. The Worcestershire sauce is quite salty. Then hot sauce. So what would you use for a hot sauce? So when I'm eating food, I like a hot sauce that has a little heat and a little flavor. Sometimes you want something just as straight vinegar based, like a Crystal, or in this case, Tabasco. I like Tabasco. It's a standard kind of for a reason. And I also like Cholula, but I wouldn't necessarily use Cholula on this. It's maybe a little too sweet. Frank's would be way too sweet, but you could use it if that's your jam. But I kind of just want the vinegar from this, and I want the heat. So in a vessel this size, if I was making 5 gallons, night, this whole thing's going in there. But like, let's start here. And another thing you can do is like leave it out for your guests or your partner, and they can add to taste. But definitely to give it some heat. So I'm going to say 60 to 70 dashes of hot sauce, or what will probably be the equivalent of a 1/2 ounce to 1 ounce. There you go. Last but not least, my secret weapon, pepperoncini brine. Now this is exciting because not only is it an ingredient, but the pepperoncini makes a great garnish. This and a lime or lemon wedge, because it's made with lemon. You can get bananas, I guess. Celery is always good, of course. And then you see people going bananas and garnishing with cheeseburgers and shrimp. And I don't know. It's like, I don't know, right? Sure. I mean, I like ridiculous stuff, but also there's a line. So I would put in about, that's about an ounce of pepperoncini brine. That's going to give us a little more salt and a little more heat that's different than the Tabasco. Mix it all up, and then, so this is just me in here, so I'm going to use 1 spoon and taste it, and then I'm probably going to put it back in. If you're going to feed other people, taste spoon, sink, new spoon, taste. Or that's between you and your God. I don't care. No notes. Nope. That has, I can taste the horseradish, but it's not overwhelming it, and it's also not too thick, not like marinara. It has just enough acidity from the citrus, from the lemon. That hot sauce is really doing its job. Maybe, you know what? I am going to do a little more, just a little more Worcestershire sauce. Because it's not just about the salt with the Worcestershire, it's about all those other flavors that make steak taste good. Yeah, and I don't know if you saw, I just got a lot more dark brown. And again, it's just me, so I'm going to taste again. I'm really happy with that. It's working. Because I can't talk and my glasses are starting to fog up a little bit. So this has the spice that I like. I'm also Scottish, so if I even look at a jalapeno, like my head starts swimming. So that's what it is. And then we're gonna just, cap it, label and date everything you make, and put it in the fridge. If you put it in the fridge for an overnight, that's great. A couple nights, even better. Again, it'll keep for quite a while, but you should don't put it in the back of the fridge and be like, 5 months later, like, I have Bloody Mary mix. It's like, that's going to be a trip to the doctor. Okay. This has been Happy Hour, brought to you by Maine Spirits. You can learn more about this mix and other drinks at mainspirits.com. You can download their app for your smartphone, which is a smart move. Why, what to buy, where to buy it, and what to do once you get it. You can also follow them on Instagram at Maine_spirits. But no matter what you do, even if you're drinking at home, especially when you're drinking at home, please drink responsibly. And deliciously. That's what I say. The state doesn't say that. I say that.